We are back, basketball nerds. It is March. It is time for college basketball. We will not be talking about it, though. The madness has started as the rush to the end of the NBA season also kicks in. Today, Adam and I, all we're doing is our four-team bucket, part three. We're going to talk about two bad teams. One interestingly weird team that I can't fully define, and then one team that we both consider a contender in the for the finals this season. So got to listen to figure out which ones we're talking about, though. But before we get going, let's bring in our friends from Green Top. We are back. Adam, I don't know. I forgot to ask you before we even started recording. Did you watch the end of the Pacers Bucks game at all?
No, I saw the shot. That was from Tyrese. Yeah, we're recording this late-ish Tuesday night, and Tyrese Halliburton with a absurd 4-point play to win the game against the Milwaukee Bucks in a really big game for seeding. That could
Oh my
swing a
gosh.
couple things. So, crazy finish to that game.
Yeah, it was it's the 4 versus 5 right now, and they're now even in record after tonight's game. So Pacers again with a nice little late season push like last year.
Indeed,
Um,
could have a
uh,
rematch of Pacers Bucks. If this playoff started today, it would be a rematch.
do you want that?
If everybody's healthy, yes, I don't mind that. Yes, yeah. Last year was so boring because it was like, well, Giannis didn't play, so it's like, well, this is like not even a series. I mean, so if everybody's healthy, I wouldn't mind it.
All right, actually, you know what? This is how we're leading the pod. Can we run through like the 1 through 8 playoff
Yeah,
matchups
sure.
right now?
Yeah,
Okay, let's do that. Because
yeah,
I
because
was thinking about it.
the teams I'm talking about are not great today. So.
Oh no, I know. That's why we're gonna gauge some interest other places. Because I was thinking about it. We'll start in the East because I'm looking at Cleveland, Orlando, and that could be just the brutal, like low scoring game fest. Except for Cleveland's offense is still so high powered. But do we? I mean, with Jalen Suggs probably not coming back, we think Cleveland clears that pretty easily, right?
Oh yeah, sweep. Yeah,
Yeah. And then Boston versus Atlanta. So, another one of those miserable times where I have to watch Trae Young on my TV screen again for at least 4 games. Um, the one that everyone's so excited about right now is Knicks Detroit, though.
yeah. I feel like it's on a collision course for those two to meet.
The thing is Detroit, Milwaukee, and Indiana are all right next to each
They
other.
are. Like,
Like they're
Detroit could get up to 4.
all, yeah. And so my thought is, I think so. And then Milwaukee, Indiana are the 4 or 5, like I said, or as of right now. I think the series I want is Detroit, Indiana. I want
And then
I
Knicks
want
and then
early two
Knicks Bucks.
and then Knicks Bucks. I
Oh,
want
that'd be
Knicks
fun.
Bucks
That'd be fun.
and then Mavericks or not Mavericks. What the heck? Pistons. Not talking about the Mavericks. Pistons and Pacers. I think that would be so much fun. I think we could get. There's always been the talk of the talk. What is my accents tonight? The Giannis to New York possibility has always been up in the air. We have the history of the early 2000s with the Pacers and the Pistons, which would be fun. And also the Pistons do have some guys who could start some ruckuses. I think that's probably my most those two final matchups, like the 3-6 and the 4-5, will be the only ones fun to watch in the East, really.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, if Miami kind of sneaks in there, maybe a Cleveland Miami is not terrible, but I mean, yeah, Cleveland's going to kill any of those teams. So I wouldn't worry about them at all if I was the Cavs. And the Cavs, man, 15 in a row. I just what an awesome team, an amazing season, 55-10, just on a roll. This team, like, we'll have to do a deep dive on them as we get closer and closer to the last. Well, one of us has the Cavs, so we'll do them relatively soon.
That'd be me.
That would be you. Okay, so
I was holding off until their first lost.
Okay. So maybe the next week or so. Or who knows?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like They won tonight. Big Garland, Mobley, and Allen game. They all totaled for I think it was 74. Uh, the Nets played them hard. That's the other thing. Will the Nets like find their way into this playoffs? Probably not. But they're just
Yeah,
battling their
they
way.
are. They are.
Um, they're just trying to make things so much fun. But yeah, after last week when I was like super high on the Nets play-in possibilities, I am wrong. Let's go to the West.
Okay.
OKC versus Clippers. I mean, I think OKC rips them in half.
Yeah.
Maybe Clippers take a game,
Yeah, in LA.
but
Yeah.
yeah. Denver, Minnesota on another collision course would be so much fun.
I'm into it. Yep.
Denver still Denver gets their revenge though.
Yeah. Yeah, I would certainly favor Denver in that. Yeah.
The biggest high profile series would be Lakers Warriors.
This is what ESPN wants, as Charles Barkley would say.
They are going to make that happen. They're going to make that happen. Or if it's Memphis Golden State still, that'd be a lot of fun. But there's no shot the NBA and the basketball world would pass up on a Warriors Lakers first round matchup.
Yeah. That's also like all pretty tight though. So like, Denver down to Houston 2 through 5 is separated by just 2 games. So that could change up quite a bit in the next. I don't want Memphis and Houston to play because I don't think those 2 teams are second round quality teams. So like one of those teams will be in the second round if they win. So I'd much rather see in the second round OKC and then a combination of Denver, LA, and Golden State.
So let me figure this out here. How long is Van Vliet out? Is he? Oh, he's still day to day. Jeez, and then Thompson being out like probably for a week or so. I think we're gonna see the Rockets fall to 6, man. I think the Warriors are like on a tear. They're gonna hop up to like 4 or 5. It's gonna be weird.
Okay, so if the Lakers are 3, they stay at 3. Rockets fall to 6. Then we get Lakers, Rockets, and then Memphis, Golden State. That's fun.
That's still fun. That's the thing.
And then we could get Golden State, OKC in the second round. That'd be awesome.
Okay, now I'm trying to think about it. OKC versus Clippers or OKC versus Minnesota. Would we drive to Oklahoma City and back, do the there and back again? Me and Evan. Round 2. If it's not on a Sunday, we'll be making it happen. God, that was brutal. Or at least it's not an 8 p.m. game. Can we?
Yeah.
ESPN, work with me here. Can we not make it an 8 p.m. game on a Sunday? Tears were shed as we arrived to my front door. Who they play. Yeah. If it's the Clippers, they'll be the late night.
Yeah,
game.
It will.
But then again, we didn't think New Orleans was going to be garnered the late night game either. So, God, we were so looking forward to that, and we still enjoyed it. All right. Yeah, the full West, the full 4, the whole 4 matchups are so much more fun than at least 3 of the 4 matchups in the East.
Yeah, I'm looking at them a little closer. Yeah, no, I think all the West matchups are going to be fun. Like even the OKC LA series, if that's what it was, or even if Sacramento got in there, like that would be fun. OKC would be a heavy favorite, but like the games would be good.
Yeah, totally agree.
Okay. By the way, real quick, I open up Basketball Reference, looking at the standings, pulling up other stuff, and how they have all the players faces like on the thing. Michael Jordan is one of them. That's very rare. You actually see someone like that good.
Oh, mine is. I got Isaiah Thomas as my big one.
Nice.
In this.
I also have Pete Maravich and Elgin Baylor also on.
See, we should just be building a roster based on like who pops up on our Basketball Reference page.
Also got Maya Moore and
okay. What is your roster? My roster is dog crap. I got George Hill, not bad. I got Mario Ellie. Okay, Joe Barry Carroll. All right. Chris Singleton.
Interesting.
I got Christy Wallace and Stephanie Talbot.
I got Noel Quinn, Dewana Bonner, Darius Sangaila, Brandon Jennings, and Landry Shamet.
I have Thonmaker. I automatically lose.
Thonmaker. Saw him play in high school.
My buddy Logan, big Bucks fan, thought Thonmaker was going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, he was not.
Big bust.
He was not.
All right, let's stop reading my players that I... Okay, hold on. Who is this man? Oh, it's George McLeod. That's unfortunate. All right. We're going to start with your 2 craps. because they played each other this week.
They did.
The Utah Jazz and the Philadelphia 76ers. Paint me a word picture about why the heck you chose two bad teams who also played each other this week, and you just wanted to put me in this spot.
So as I was looking through my list of teams I still have left, and usually kind of like Saturday night is kind of like, okay, like, or Friday night, I'm kind of like, okay, here's the teams, here's who plays this weekend. I know when we're recording. It's like, okay, at some point in the next few days, I need to watch like both these teams play. And I was looking, I was like, these are my last two picks, Jazz and Sixers, and I was like, man, if I could find a night where they play each other and I don't have to watch them both play and watch two full games, like, and then lo and behold, Sunday afternoon they played each other, and I was like, yes,
Yeah.
this is perfect. So I watched that game so you don't have to, and no one should watch this game in full.
No, I still watched it.
You
I
did.
watched. Let me rephrase that. I watched the all possessions.
Okay.
And I did not watch the full.
Man.
I watched the 40-minute all possessions game. And Adam, I was mad at you for making me do that. That was brutal.
Yes, just a bad basketball game. When people say, I think the whole like, I can't watch the NBA anymore, like too many threes thing is like way overdone. But I will say, when people say they don't watch the NBA anymore, they're thinking about this game, right?
Specifically.
Yes,
Specifically this game.
like this is the one they're talking about. It's mostly kind of selfish guys out there trying to get theirs in a game with no stakes, like at all, and tons of players out injured. Like ridiculous amount of players out injured. Let's read the injury report for these two teams. Utah: Jordan Clarkson, John Collins, Elijah Harkless, Taylor Hendricks, Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton. The Philadelphia 76ers were without Joel Embiid, Paul George, Eric Gordon, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Kyle Lowry, and Jared McCain. There's almost the same amount of players on the injury list as when he played.
Didn't even play.
No.
And Tyrese Maxey didn't play.
Yeah.
So you just put everyone through the gauntlet and just said, how much of an NBA fan are you?
Yep. Yeah. It is just, Walker. I mean, Jaden Springer. I mean, all these guys out. Obviously, Maxey I listed already. Yeah, but it's okay. So the starting lineup for the Jazz was KJ Martin, Kyle Filipowski, Bryce Sensabaugh, Isaiah Collier, and Johnny Juzang. And Keontae George played a lot off the bench and actually had a pretty good game. The Sixers starting lineup was Justin Edwards, Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre Jr., Gershon Yabusele, and Andre Drummond in 10 sterling minutes of action. Lonnie Walker off the bench played 34 minutes and actually had a very good game, 25 points. Lonnie Walker and 11 rebounds for Lonnie Walker. Adem Bona played. Can I interest you in some Jared Butler? Some Alex
You
Reese.
interested me.
Jeff Doughton. Okay, Alex Reese and Jeff Doughton. I mean, I follow the NBA very closely. We have an NBA podcast. I had not seen these two players play.
I've only seen Alex Reese play just because there was moments in just random Sixers games. I'm like, can we watch if Paul George is any good? And then but not Jeff Doughton.
Yeah, so I lost some credibility with the hardcore Sixers fans right now, but I just okay. We have a list with a bunch of friends of mine where we add up because a big pet peeve, like a basketball pet peeve of a bunch of us, my friend Briggs and Steven and these guys, is when people don't shoot at the end of quarters, like if you have a chance at a half court shot. So we have a very now a very expanded list of players who are willing to shoot at the end of quarters and players who are not willing to shoot at the end of quarters. And I'm happy to say Ricky Council IV did shoot at the end of a quarter. He took a big heave from beyond half court. So I texted Briggs right away. I said, hey, add Ricky Council to the list. And one guy responded, he goes, why are you watching Ricky Council IV? I was like, long story. Don't worry about it. So that's what we got here. I want to read you Quentin Grimes' game log recently.
I mean, we talked about it last week. We talked about Quentin Grimes last week when we were talking about how, I don't remember what we were doing, but it's pretty gross. He's been pretty good. Yeah,
feast or famine. Here are his last few games: 16 points in a loss to Brooklyn. That was on February 22nd, and then 9 points, 3 points, 44. 14, 30, 6, 25, 33. It's like what a crazy line that is. Like it goes from 3 to 44.
Talk about a bounce back.
Yeah. And then from 6 to 25. And he was amazing in that Utah game. And then in Atlanta they lost the following evening, Monday night, to Atlanta, and he had 35. I mean, so no, it's such a strange collection of players. It almost feels like the process Sixers are back again, where it's like, oh, let's just grab random people.
No,
Oh,
it is.
Lonnie Walker, you were playing for Zalgiris in Lithuania. Come on down, like we'll come sign you. And he actually looked pretty good in this game. But yeah, just a very very strange group of players, and not the most enjoyable game to watch. Okay, the Sixers did win. It was 126-122, and the ending was so long too, right? Because there's the fouling, and it just was like
It's so
this game,
gross.
this game not in. So
No,
yeah,
I should have looked at. I should have. I'm glad I watched it the version I did because watching it in real time would have made me mad. Like I meant to look up how long the game actually was in real time. Oh, here we go. 2 hours and 20 minutes.
yeah,
It did
which
not
is
feel like that.
it's not terrible. I mean, there's I just yeah, it was bad. So let's get into the Jazz real quick. So to give them the proper due, because we do want to kind of go through every team and give them their proper due and talk about them in the season. But yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, no. I wanted to hit on this. I like Collier, except for the fact when he turns the ball over 7 times.
Yeah,
Gross, gross, gross. He has 10 assists, but still don't love the 10-7 assist to the turnover ratio. Not great
no.
there.
But he's been
Um,
better, I think, than people anticipated. I mean, he's kind of like lived up to some of the high school hype that he had,
yes,
going
yes,
into USC last year.
yeah. And then Keontae George, is he just going to be the next Lou Williams?
I was gonna say, I mean, talk about a selfish player. I mean, man, like,
That man just hucks.
yeah, it's like I'm out here for mine, and that's about it. That is about it. I do think Will Hardy is a keeper, and he's handled this kind of tank well. And they obviously won a bunch of games the last few years. Surprisingly, they're definitely going to be one of the bottom four teams in the league. That's
Yeah,
all but locked up. They're 15-50. They're last in the West. 23rd in offensive rating, 30th in defensive rating, which would be dead last. They play the 11th quickest pace, but yeah, offense is rough, so that doesn't matter a whole lot. Lauri Markkanen has played in 43 games and has been good, but is definitely not a franchise guy, so I think that's clearly what they're looking for. And I think Danny Ainge knows that. The injury list for this team is obviously extensive, and I mean, sometimes it's like, are they even injured? Are we just kind of, hold them out to lose more games? Everything comes down to the draft for them. Everything comes down to the lottery. Can they get one of those top 2 or 3 picks? That's like the whole season comes down to, it was worth it if we do kind of land one of these top 3 picks, but
right.
we'll see.
I have worries that Utah just, the NBA gods are never going to give Utah like their luck in the top 5.
Yeah, it has not
Who
happened.
was that? Because what, last year bad? Where'd they end up picking? Did they have a pick last year?
I
I
don't
don't
think so.
know.
I don't think they did.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
That's right. They didn't. That's right. That's right. That's right. Because people were thinking the Nets would be in that same boat until they traded back. They got their pick back.
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, Utah, get your shit together. Oh my Lord.
This
They
could all
have
this
fun.
could all look different if they get the number 2 pick or something. You know what I mean? I mean, this could all look different.
Yeah, they have fun players that are good eighth men
Yeah,
on teams.
yeah.
Like,
And Markkanen, who's like a legitimate like third option on a really good team, like a really good team.
yeah. Marketing. Sorry, I'm just reading the box score over here of like the guys who are actually playing in this game. But Keontae George is like the 6-man shooter that is on a 7 or 8 seed that is like feast or famine whether or not he plays well, and he comes in when the best players out of the game, and they're like, okay, what are we getting? What version of this guy are we getting tonight? And
Yeah,
so, I think marketing gets traded this offseason.
I can see that.
Um,
I can see that.
I
Maybe
think
it depends on where the pick is.
true. I think there's a chance that he gets traded only because they might try to move on to like someone. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could get someone with a good first pick and like an early pick and just bring him back. I don't know. Maybe you're probably right. Um,
Quick trivia question: who has played the most
yeah.
games for this team?
Oh man, I want to say Kyle Filipowski, but that's no
He's second.
shot.
He is second.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Okay, then is it Keontae?
Nope.
Who?
Isaiah Collier.
My man's on
He
my
is,
fantasy team.
he has played in 57 out of 65 games, the most on the team.
He's earned he He might be high in turnovers, but his high assist rate helps me in fantasy every after the trade deadline. He's been super helpful.
Which that stat
Um,
alone is kind of surprising, right? It's like the guy who's actually played the most games on the team has actually still missed 8 games, and we're not even we're 3/4 of the way done with the season. Like that's I don't know, that's kind of crazy. Like yeah, I wonder what the
it is weird.
lowest like top played like over the last few years. I have to go look at that, but like who played the least amount
They've
of most games.
the fact that they've had 20 different guys play for their team,
I know.
including guys in the bottom. Patty Mills on has been on the
Yeah, he
roster,
started
and
the season with them.
Oscar.
Yeah, yeah,
The That's crazy. Shvi Mikhailo still kicking around in
he
this
is. He is
in Utah.
Ukrainian
But yeah,
sensation.
okay. And then Philly, I want to go back to for a hot second. We
Yeah, no,
already
we
have
should.
talked.
We should go. We should go. Phil, you want me to give their numbers real quick?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So 22 and 42, 12th in the East.
Okay.
Offensive rating 22nd, defensive rating 26th, pace 26th, which is not surprising. They always play slow with Embiid, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Embiid hasn't played a whole lot. He's barely played, and PG was nowhere near as good as they hoped to be. I mean, it's a disaster of a season. Like
No,
let's make yeah, it
it's
is an
the
absolute disaster of a season.
it's the bigger version of what Boston did with Marcus Smart, like trading him away. Now the Clippers just didn't want to give him the fourth year, which is great, smart move by them. They're in the
Yeah,
playoff picture.
that looks very smart now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they have this team has imploded and relied on two of its three best players being injury prone men. And um, I think we said it last week and maybe not, but I mean the fact that the Sixers have even considered like this medical retirement thing. Have you seen that?
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
I mean the fact that they've considered it is probably smart by them, but it just shows just how crazy that extension was.
Yeah, yeah. Which I don't yeah. I don't understand. Other than just I want to take care of my guy. I mean, that's really the only
Sure, but that's
yeah,
Daryl. Daryl,
yeah,
that's all Daryl's on. That's all that's on Daryl's mind is how can he take care of his guy.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's just an absolute baffling decision. So I have the same trivia question: who's played the most games for the Philadelphia 76ers?
Well, man, it's not only their big, not
No,
their top three guys.
no.
I want to say it might be like Kelly Oubre.
I believe Oubre is second or third. I have to pull the whole thing back. I have number one right now, but I think he's second or third.
Is it my guy Ubi?
It is
Is it your Ubasele? Man,
Gershon Yabusele, 60 out of 64 games.
I had so much love for this man, and I hated that Boston didn't play him, and we were playing Semi Ojale over this man.
Yeah,
Uh, Gross. Yeah, good for him. I'm glad he's back in the NBA.
me too.
Hopeful that he can like stay on a roster.
I think he can. I mean, he's had a good season, and obviously, he was awesome in the Olympics. And no, I think he'll stick. He's been like a nice bright spot. And honestly, Maxi has been pretty good too. His shooting numbers are a bit down, but when he's played, like he does look really good. I mean, he's averaging 26 a game, decent
Yeah,
shooting splits. They're lower than they have been in the past couple of seasons, but yeah, I mean, you still have something great in the future, and Tyrese Maxey he could be your point guard for the next 10 years. So. Yeah, that is encouraging that you at least have that. But yeah, the Lonnie Walker thing has been really interesting, right? I mean, it's like cut by the Celtics, goes over and plays in Europe, and gets a contract. He played well over there, gets a contract, and is going to finish out the season with the Sixers. So pretty interesting.
I I will still be baffled that the Celtics just couldn't like make the roster spot for him.
No,
And it
I'm watching him play, and I'm like really, like they couldn't find a spot for
well, and
him.
that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like they like during summer league, or not summer league, during like exhibitions and preseason stuff, like he looked good, and guys talked highly of him, and he could just been another vet in the room. I think the Celtics just had so much more hope for Jordan Walsh, and that's just what sucks. Is just like Walsh hasn't turned into anything. Baylor Shireman though has like started playing well with like I mean we're playing against like some of the lower teams in the NBA right now, but he's been super fun. Um,
yeah. So Utah played Boston last night. Since the
Correct.
game that I
Yeah.
watched and lost. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you
I mean,
watched two Utah games in a row. Wow.
yeah. Hauser with the eight threes in the third quarter was something.
Yeah.
And
No Tatum, right, in that game.
no, um, Hauser had 30 something. Uh, I think it was the first time in a week span that any team has had nine guys hit. I mean, sorry, has had four guys hit 9 threes throughout a week.
Wow. Yeah,
Um,
we haven't talked about I guess we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but the Derek White and Peyton Pritchard explosion last week was pretty awesome.
yeah, the dueling 40-point games was
Yeah,
something beautiful. The first time in Celtics history that they've had
yeah,
two guys get 40 points.
yeah.
The fact that Bird and McHale hadn't done it, I meant to do the research and see how close those two would have gotten. The fact that Tatum and Brown, I get it. I mean, they've had 2 or 3 years now where it's just been them and not like Kemba or Kyrie. Um, yeah, it's just shocking to me that it's never happened in this team's historic
Yeah, it is amazing. Even
career.
like a Cowan Havlicek, or you know what I mean. Like that's just
Yeah,
like
they had JoJo though. Like
yeah.
they
JoJo
had
might have
three
been
guys.
yeah.
Um, yeah, they just always had three guys, and maybe that's the thing with like Bird and McHale. I mean, there was that year that they both hit 60, and so that's like in my head, I
In
was
different
just
games,
like,
obviously. Yeah,
right, yeah. But it was like in a 2 week span of
yeah.
each
It
other.
was
So, um, yeah, just interesting stuff. But yeah, the Jazz are gross to watch every now and
and
then.
so are the
So
Sixers. So last question on the Sixers is like, I mean, they're 4 games out of the play-in behind Chicago. Can they catch Chicago, and do they even want to, or is it are they?
that's what I think. I don't think they want to because here's the
Yeah,
thing: they also have their draft pick
yeah.
thing. Like I don't remember what the exact protection is. If it's like I think it's if like 6 to 9 or 6 to 10, it goes to Oklahoma City, and yeah, because Oklahoma City needs another draft pick just to fill their like treasure chest.
The
It's
coffers.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy to me that Philly was like, yeah, we can trade and we'll leave it unprotected during this one spot that we would never fall in with the guys we have. Thanks, Al Horford. I appreciate you for doing that, for ruining Philly's chances on that one.
Yeah.
Uh, Al Horford coming back again and saving the day
The
for
gift that keeps on
Boston.
giving.
My final Boston thing: Al Horford against the Lakers.
Awesome.
Phenomenal,
Awesome. Yeah.
phenomenal. Um, Man's man's insane. All right, sorry, I gotta shut up about the Celtics. This isn't Celtics.
Yeah.
Time.
Let's get to your teams.
Yes, I'm gonna start with Miami.
Okay.
If anyone's watched Miami post Jimmy Butler trade, you're like, oh, so it's Bam and Hero basically doing everything. You would be correct, because Wiggins has been almost non-existent every now and then. But the game I watched was the Bulls game, which they're also on a 4 game losing streak. Two of the Cavs, the Timberwolves, both playoff teams, and there's the Bulls and the Hornets. The Hornets game was last night, and that was brutal. But Saturday against the Bulls was not so awful. It was a closer game. Um, but the Bulls won 114-109. And the issue was the fact that Josh Giddey had a 26, 10, and 12 game against them.
Giddy's been playing well.
He is playing so well. And this was actually a good Wiggins game. He did have 22. He actually did look good. And Bam and Hero both with 20. And it was actually one of the good Terry Rozier games, which he has also looked absolutely horrific. I mean, there's been the clips this past week on Twitter or anywhere if you are on social media of just like I know there's the whole suit going on whether or not he like actually was rigging games or betting on himself in games like little Jonte Porter, but he's not he's not painting a good picture for himself right now with how bad he is playing, how bad some of these turnovers are. Like these are high school JV level turnovers that I was making at Winfield High School before the varsity games. I was being laughed at as the point guard who could not
Shout out
dribble.
Winfield. Interesting.
Winfield is getting the shout out only because they were like our quote unquote rival in districts. Still second craziest game that CHS has ever been a part of was a Winfield CHS game where Ryan Williams literally got cussed at and also got like almost the entire student section. As a sixth grader, Ryan Williams had the entire student section giving him the bird. It was phenomenal.
Love it.
My first memory of Ryan Williams. But there is the Heat have some like redeeming parts. Like I think Khalil Ware has been like super fun. I mean, especially over these past few months. And then Davion Mitchell actually getting some run time is actually pretty interesting. He's been not terrible, but I think he's proving more and more that he is bench, a serviceable bench rotation point guard who's good at defense. And that's really all he gives you. Bad parts about this team. So Jaime Jaquez, not good anymore. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
what happened. I'm also getting the thumbs up over here as it comes to me. Jaime Jaquez, not as good as we thought he was. Last year, he um, seemed like a serviceable wing for this Heat team, and his numbers have gone down in points. He was all averaging 12 a game last year. This year he's averaging just almost 9. The rebounds have gone up, but the assists have gone down, and steals and blocks have all stayed the same. It just Have you watched much Heat this year?
a little bit, a little bit. I mean, yeah,
I
they're a
know. I know
very
you're more
strange team. Yeah, I mean, yeah, not that exciting, and yeah, just I don't know.
poorly constructed.
Yeah, and the
Poorly
Jimmy
constructed.
thing obviously threw a huge wrench in the whole season. I mean, yeah, no doubt
Absolutely.
about it.
Yeah. So pace, they're 28th. Shocker. They are a slow pace team. Um, and then offensive rating 21st, defensive rating 12th. A Spoelstra team is always going to be good on defense, it feels like. And the fact that they're still in the top half of the league with this, what feels like still guys who are turnstiles on defense, it's pretty impressive, I'll say, in my mind.
Yeah, the
Um,
offense is the issue though. It's just a grind.
it's a pick and roll. It's a pick and roll with Bam or Ware with Hero, or it's Bam on the wing on the like the elbow every time, and it doesn't feel like it's much else than that. Or it's Terry Rozier trying to do something and then letting the ball on a simple crossover get out of his left hand, and then like Mitchell, put his head is between his hands and then run back, try to play defense, and inevitably foul the guy for my fifth foul and foul out of the game. All right. Anyways, I'm done with Mitchell Sell horror stories. Another team that has played 20 guys.
Yeah,
Another team
I
that's
just look at that because I was going to ask you the same. Who's played the most games? Question.
um. The only reason I know that, well, I mean, the only reason I know that is because the two guys who played the most games are on my fantasy team, and Bam and Hero,
Yeah,
and I think it's surprising with the whole Jimmy thing that they didn't one sit out. Two, like, I'm shocked that I feel like one of those guys usually gets hurt throughout every season.
yeah,
And this Heat team has stayed healthy for the most part, and yet they're still sitting in the 9 spot in the East.
yeah. It's just
So,
honestly, just a very like average team. I mean, slightly below average. Honestly, their expected win loss is 31 and 33. So it's like they're right kind of where they should be. I mean, yeah. I mean, this team might sneak into the playoffs. It's kind of like who cares? I mean, they're just kind of a whatever team, and they've
I don't
nowhere
want them
near.
to.
But they have nowhere near. I don't either. But they're nowhere near that like upset capability that that team did the other a couple years ago with Jimmy Butler. And also like
Yeah.
they actually were kind of playing well going into that stretch. It was like
They had found a groove,
and Giannis was hurt.
and Giannis was hurt. And also, they brought in Kevin Love.
Yeah,
Not that like Kevin Love's the biggest deciding factor in anything, but they brought in Kevin Love as like a bench guy who was kind of still feeling it that year.
yeah, no, he played well.
Still one of
Yeah,
the craziest things that the Cavs gave him up, but
yeah,
all
so
worked out.
weird. Yeah,
All worked out in the end. Um, all right, let's get to the best team of everyone at
yeah.
all four of these.
Let's do it.
Who who played in back-to-back games against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Both were fun games, and they went 1-1 against the Thunder. Let's talk about the Denver Nuggets with one of the MVP candidates this year, Nikola Jokic. The Denver Nuggets lost on. Hold on, I was trying to do this off the top of my head. I was going to be wrong. Saturday night?
Friday night.
No, Friday night. They played Friday?
Yeah, and then Sunday afternoon was
Oh,
the first OKC game, and then just last night was the second OKC game.
thank you. Thank you. Yes. Back to back on Oklahoma City game was Friday or Saturday and Sunday.
Yes,
Sorry,
Sunday,
Sunday.
Monday. Yeah,
This whole week's been a whole blind spot. The battle of the two MVP candidates was a lot of fun. I will start there. I was trying to decide, do I choose the loss or do I choose a win to talk about? I inevitably chose the win because you should talk about the win. And also I chose a loss for the Heat. So I was just like, I'm going to choose the win here. But I'm going to ask you this question before we get into it. on this Nuggets roster, how many players do you trust in a playoff series? Like, hey, I'm gonna throw you out there, and I know you can be productive on either side on one of the sides of the ball.
Like really trust?
Like, really trust. Like, you're like, I'm an 8 out of 10.
Like conference finals game.
Like, I'm 8 out of 10 really trusting you to actually be out there.
Honestly, 6.
Yeah, because talk me through this. Because talk me through who your six are.
I mean, the starters, obviously. It's a very good starting
Oh
lineup
yeah,
still. Yeah, it's a very, very good starting lineup. Especially when Aaron Gordon's healthy, which he's not been much this year. But and Russ has given them plenty off the bench. I mean, way more than I would have anticipated. I do worry about him a tad in a playoff matchup, especially as the series goes on. He usually gets worse as the series goes on
mm-hmm.
throughout
Mm-hmm.
his career. So I would worry about that. But he still can give you something off the bench, and that is it. That I
Not
genuinely
Peyton Watson.
trust. They're going to
Not
play
Peyton
Peyton
Watson.
Watson, and they have to. But like, do I really like trust him in like a massive spot? Not really.
Nor should you. I
Yeah,
don't either. I'm like out of a trust level. I'm about like a 65% on him.
yeah. But he's the
Uh,
next one for sure.
Zeke Naji and Jalen Pickett. No,
No, Julian Strother. I guess he can buy you a few minutes.
I guess
I'm
that's the other. That would be the only other guy I would consider, just because he at least can be a scoring option.
yeah. I mean DeAndre Jordan, Darius Sarge. I mean hell no. So um,
Oh, I
yeah,
mean, no. I
yeah,
mean, the fact that DeAndre Jordan's played as much as he had this year is kind of crazy.
yeah, yeah. He's had to. I mean because yeah, it's just some people missing games, but um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
It's so
which is
here.
is gonna be their downfall.
Yeah, my biggest gripe with this Nuggets team, because Murray's come into his own a little bit here more recently. I mean,
Yes.
the fact that he had 34 in the second game against the Thunder, great job. 35 for Jokic, 35, 18, and 8. Just ridiculous. Um, my biggest gripe is this: the fact that Michael Porter Jr. has not become like the actual third guy that we've all wanted him to be.
Yeah.
Because I think this year he's been very important on their rebounding side. I think he's been very impactful on that side. He's been better on defense. Better on defense than I would have probably expected. There's just some defensive IQ moments. I'm like, sir, are you okay? Are you there? MIZ, not proud of this in any way, shape, or form. But I think there's just moments where I'm like, I want the guy who would just pull anything in high school, and I worry that guy just like got sat on the bench for far too long early on with his time with Mike Malone, and I just don't think he ever will come back out again. Just the guy who was just fearless. I think he's lost that edge a little bit.
Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, also some just major injuries too,
Sure.
and playing with guys who just deserve more shine and more bits of the offense than he does. But yeah, I mean that's going to be this is the thing. It's like they can win a round and they've got they could maybe even win two, but it's like they're going to hit a depth point, and it's just any injury to anybody in the starting lineup, they're just in tough shape. I mean, Christian Brown's been great. Like really just I mean, much better than KCP was last year. So that's been an upgrade. It's just hurt their bench. That's the thing is like, man, this lineup is a championship worthy starting five. Like we've seen it, and this guy that
Mm-hmm.
they actually hit on this pick in Christian Brown, and they just like can't like figure out how to get multiple bench guys that can help, like wings that can help, a second big that can help. It's like I don't know. It's like they nailed all like the major things, and it's like now the margin stuff they couldn't really get. It's really strange. And there's some teams like nail the margin stuff, but then like haven't been able to hit on the very big guy. Like Utah, right? And it's like
Yeah.
it's just such a strange
Houston, I feel
dichotomy.
like is Houston's got the upgraded version of that. They've
They do,
got the great role players.
they do.
Um, I also
Like
never mind.
how much could Denver use like just like two of Houston's bench guys? Like I mean it would like
Atari
totally change
Eason,
their team.
Atari Eason in
Oh
Denver would just change the
man,
world.
yes,
Aaron would lose his mind because he was so bit high on Tari Eason coming out of college. On the 3 hour draft pod that is no longer in the stratosphere at all. Like it got lost to the spinny circle of
the,
loading death
the
on my
ether.
computer. Yeah, he That thing, he could not shut up about Tari Eason for about 20 minutes when he heard that he was going to Houston. Um, I I totally agree. Denver is in a need of like a major depth upgrade. And that's why there's part of me that was like, okay, do you just move on from Porter, get some depth while also getting like a wing to replace him in the starting lineup? But you got to get like someone to like be out there when Jokic isn't out there as a center. Just Saric hasn't been it. I was so excited and I was so wrong about Saric. Jordan is way past any sort of playing time that he should be getting. Um, and Zeke Naji just isn't it. Zeke
No.
Naji just isn't it. So, um, that being said, we talked about it, and I still think they beat Minnesota in a series.
Yes, I agree. That's what I'm saying. They can win. They'll win their first round series. I don't think there's a match. I guess maybe if they fall to 3 and some of maybe the Lakers get to 6, which I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen. Could Golden State beat them in like a 3-6 matchup?
I think, see, that's where I'm concerned, is maybe not the right word, because Moses Moody has been playing a lot better on defense, as is, and Jimmy's like locked back in.
Yeah,
And so I'm like, okay, who can you just say, throw this guy at Jamal Murray, and then let's just make everyone else have to work around Jokic? Like, because Jokic is going to get his against Golden State. No offense, no offense. No one's guarding him on Golden State.
right.
Draymond ain't it,
No,
and Kevon Looney can maybe like muscle with him. Quentin Post could actually. Quentin Post can't do anything. He's going to be just out there on his own, and he's going to be crying after game 2. Um, but I still like him. But this, I do think that Denver beats Golden State, but I don't think it's just like an easier series at all.
no, I don't either. I mean, that'd be an absolute grind, and I think there's plenty of guys at Golden State obviously can give them a ton of problems. And again, like one ankle tweak away from like them just being like, well, I mean, what do we even do? If we have to go, to our deep bench. But I mean, we must spend some time talking about Nikola Jokic.
We must talk about him. Nikola Jokic, my friend's family, 29, 13, and 10 and a half. The, if I remember correctly, the second highest win shares in a season of all time, behind his own in
Yeah,
2022.
PER. Yeah, second highest PER.
PR.
I'm looking at it right
Sorry,
now. Yes. Yes, I mean his
PR.
win shares are very high too. He's led the league in win shares 4 years in a row, and he probably will again this year. But yeah, so his record was 32.8 in 21-22. That's the highest PER total in NBA history. He's now at 32.3 with a chance to pass that. Obviously, he could fall a bit too, but no, it is an absurd season that he's putting together. Like the game against Phoenix on Friday nights. I mean, obviously we've never seen it before. I mean, we've just never seen a line like that in the history of the NBA.
The 30, 20, and 20 for those
Yes,
who
yes,
weren't
yes. Sorry,
looking at their phones on
yes.
Saturday morning. It was I went back, watched it, and the fact that he had a triple double at the start of the third quarter, like early on in the third quarter, and then had a second triple double
Yes.
by at the end of overtime is just spectacular. So we've had 20 games. Russ had one.
Yep.
Was anyone else have one? Oscar?
Oscar probably does, yeah. But yeah, 31 points, 22 assists, 22 rebounds. I mean, just a ridiculous 3 steals too. Like just a ridiculous game. A 41.5 game score, which I think is his highest of the year, obviously his best game of the season. Yeah, and a win. In a win over Phoenix, an overtime win over Phoenix.
Granted, Phoenix probably should not have been even in that game.
Oh no, it is not. This is the thing. He has 5 games with a higher game score on Basketball Reference than that game.
I was gonna say, I feel like there had to have been a game early on in the year when Jamal was like not playing well or hurt that he probably had. What? Give me the other higher ones.
Okay, so the one right above it, he went for 56, 16, and 8.
Yeah.
Decent in a loss to the Wizards of all teams.
Gross.
And again, the Murray did not play. 43.8 game score in a win over the Brooklyn Nets. 35 points, 15 boards. I'm sorry, 12 boards, 15 assists. That was because of the shooting more so than that one. Yeah, 14 to 21. 43.9 game score and a plus 25 in that one. 48 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, and a win by 30 over the Hawks. And then a 2-point win over Dallas, 37 points, 18 rebounds, 15 assists, and a 44.8 game score. And then this one, 35 points, 22 rebounds, 17 assists, 2 blocks, went 12 of 19 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3 for a 45.2 game score and a 9-point win over Sacramento in January.
He's ridiculous.
He is
So
becoming one of the greatest players of all time.
We're already talking about it. So we talked about greatest players of all time, which we'll talk about like this summer whenever we break out our top players of all time list. That's coming out on the website. Watch out for that.
We will.
He is so close to just cracking that top 15 for me.
Yeah, so we have him in tiers, which we'll get to more and more this summer. But yeah, we have our players in different tiers, and I think that the top 2 tiers are probably out of the question yet, just the length of career. But that third one, he is right on the doorstep, which would make him, in our opinion, a top 18 player of all time, based on how we have these tiered.
That's crazy. So all right.
This is year 10.
And he could be winning his 4th MVP.
Yes. His MVP finishes in the last 7 years. Well, so I'll include this one because he's going to be at least second, right? At least second this year. So he'll get second this year. First, second, first, ninth, fourth.
Ninth?
Yeah, ninth in the lockout, the COVID season, 1920.
What? He was only ninth?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I guess Jamal was like kind of given a little bit more shine.
And there was a bunch of guys who had really good seasons that year. Kawhi, LeBron, they were all up in that kind of top, tier category.
Right. That was a fun season.
Won MVP, obviously. So, that was kind of a different year. And then he was awesome in the playoffs. Helped lead them to the conference finals.
I think, all right, stepping away from the Nuggets and going back to just the 2020 season, I think that had the potential to be one of the most fun seasons if we didn't, have COVID.
I agree.
Damn it! That just playoff series.
It still was. The games were still really fun.
No, it just was fun, but
not when they were supposed to be, and there was no crowd.
You saw the anatomy of if you watched the Clippers Mavericks game that we did for the anatomy of a franchise, that is what I'm mostly describing. It's just like no crowd. I'm listening to a Disney PA announcer. Try so hard to get the 25 people in the virtual crowd hyped up. And
the actual play was awesome.
Yes, absolutely agree with you.
No, the man is insane.
So we still think these guys are title contenders, though.
I do.
I do.
Yeah, I do. And the starting 5 is so good when healthy.
I agree. My worry is that, like you said, Gordon, like one run move, and it's just over for him. So who knows? Anything else you wanted to hit on?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, cool. I have one final thing, and if you can hear my dog walking into the background, that's great. If not, it's okay. This past week, I had one of my favorite people in this world. My grandpa passed away, and he is probably the true influence of why I love the NBA, why I love basketball. I grew up in a home that my dad didn't watch basketball that much outside of Jordan, and then nor did he play basketball outside of a church league. So my grandpa played in high school at Jennings and also ran track, which is another reason I love track. And he actually ran at Wash U. But I still remember young me, whenever we'd watch any sort of college basketball game and my grandparents were over, my grandpa would just sit and watch with me. He'd still be annoyed with the fact of how many threes, so he'd enjoy the discourse going on right now. Or the fact that there was a 3-point line. But the amount of times I would shoot hoops with him in the front or the backyard, whenever we were at whatever house we were at, just appreciate just all the times. So Grandpa, thank you. As much as I don't want to say this podcast was devoted to you, because you probably hate that. But everyone, thanks for listening. Go Celtics. Go Spurs. Who do we go? Nuggets, I guess. Aaron Carter's gonna have to deal with that. Go Nuggets. Yeah. They're probably the most fun thing we talked about today. Go Nuggets. Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your week.